Cheryl. Trung, you're here, wonderful. Looking for John. John, are you in the audience?
I'm here.
Yeah. Are you on the stage or are you in the audience?
No, I'm on. Just walked up on the stage. Hello. I'll go down here.
There are a couple other people on stage here. Nicole and Christine. You're not on my panel today, I don't believe.
Oh. Maybe did I reschedule or something?
That's okay, Christine. Yeah, I just don't have you on my list for today.
Is there space?
One moment. So we have 1, 2, 3. Omar. I don't see Danielle Van Camp. Danielle, are you in the audience? Don't see her joining us. We'll just wait 1 second.
I have the confirmation email too, if you need that.
I think I might be able to clear up some of the confusion. I received an invitation that had a roster of a panel that I hosted a year ago, because I recognized some of the names and it wasn't. It's weird. It's some sort of like duplicate invite from a panel from last year had come out.
That's odd. Yeah, because I have our list here and I have the calendar invite, so it's not a big deal. I don't see Danielle here, Christine, so I'll look up your information and I will for sure. You can definitely join the panel if you'd like to. I'm just double checking one thing. Making sure that, okay, yeah, because you're a current icon. So yes, wonderful. Welcome to the panel. Okay, so we're gonna get started. I love the world because it gives us a chance here to discuss things quickly from all over the country. Okay, wonderful. So my name is Meg Burgess. I'm here on behalf of the ICON team. Thank you all for being here. I hope you enjoyed the Big Agent meeting. We're about to start ICONversations. It is a 1-hour wonderful conversation with the panelists behind me, 5 of our ICON agents here at EXP, and they're going to be talking about their business and asking any questions. Please pop any questions you may have into the chat. I'll make sure if you agents on stage aren't able to see those, I'll make sure if anyone does have pertinent questions that I kind of just pop in every now and then. So without further ado, let me introduce to you our moderator today is Omar. We have our panelist, Cheryl Larson from Minnesota, Trung Bien from Alberta, Canada, John DiPiazza from Michigan, and our addition here, thank you for joining us, Christine May from Illinois. I'm going to hand it over to you, Omar. Let me know if
I'm sorry, am I not on this panel either? This is Nicole Ward, by the way.
Nicole, no, you're not on this panel either.
Okay, I can bounce out then. I got an email invitation as well and don't remember when I signed up. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I don't need to be here unless you guys want me here.
Nicole, if you'd like to stay, you can. I can double check in the back end. But no, I have the 5 panelists on the graphic behind me are the ones that we would have contacted and had the things. I'm sorry if there's some error. But Omar, take it away. And for Christine and Nicole, if you want to stick around, I'm going to be in contact with you on the sidebar. So please feel free to stay in the conversation.
All right, happy Friday, everybody. I hope everyone's off to a great start here. My name is Omar Din. I'm based out of New Jersey, Pennsylvania, the greater Philadelphia area. Personally, I'm a 3-time ICON agent myself, but today we're going to be digging into our panelists that we have on stage. Just brief history on me. I've been licensed since 2016. Started off on a team for about a year, became a solo agent for another year, and then began assembling a team into my 3rd year. I was with Remax for my first 5 years as an agent, and I've been with EXP just right hitting that 3-year mark now. And that's about it for me. So what I'd like to do is just run on down, our group of panelists here and just get a brief introduction on everybody. We're going to start with John. John, why don't you tell us about your history, how long you've been a licensed agent, your path from starting till now, are you a solo agent? Do you have a team, and areas and type of market that you cover?
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is John DiPiazza. I have been selling real estate now for almost 40 years. Um, I'm 64 years old. I actually started in this business uh, when I was a kid. My dad was a builder, so I used to leave high school and go sit out in a model until 8 o'clock at night, when the models used to be open till 8 o'clock at night, and then go on from there. I'm in Macomb Township, Michigan, and I've been with EXP now. My fourth year will start now. I've been an ICON agent every year so far, so I'm very proud of that. Before I came to EXP, I was with Remax for 24 years, 25 years, and I thought for sure there was never, you couldn't get me to go away from that company. You'd have to take me out dragging and kicking. And then some friends joined EXP, and it took them a while to get me to understand what it was all about and how I could be successful there. And here I am, loving every minute of it. But in our area, if somebody's looking for new construction, I'm a very, very well-known agent. You can call me anytime, even if you just have questions about new construction and you're not buying a home specifically from me. I've always been there to be able to help people. So I guess that's it in a nutshell.
And John, thank you for that. The market that you work, do you work in the city area, suburban, rural?
Yeah, I'm a kind of suburban. So Macomb Township, Michigan is about 40 miles north of Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
Macomb Township, before COVID, when the boom was really going on in new construction, Macomb Township, Michigan, and Las Vegas, Nevada were the two parts of the United States that were pushing for the #1 spot in sales for new construction homes.
Okay.
So it's been a run. It's been great.
Got it. Excellent. Thank you. Okay. And moving on down the line here, Christine, same questions for you. How long have you been licensed? What was your start, and what led you to EXP? Are you a team lead, or are you a solo agent?
Yes, thank you, Omar. I'm Christine May. I've been in real estate for 3 years. I started at a small boutique brokerage my first year and moved to EXP, and I've been here for the last 2 years, and I've ICON 2 out of 2. So hopefully, getting that next year also and the years following. I am located in downtown Chicago, so the concrete jungle, and I am a team lead, so we're called the May team. And there's about 15 active agents. We do leasing and buy, sell, but our primary niche is leasing. The market in Chicago is quite great for rentals because the buildings pay us just for bringing in clients, and they typically give us like a 1 month referral, and that can be a couple $1,000s right away. So it's pretty cool. And yeah, market's great in Chicago, especially in the wintertime. No one wants to move, so buildings are paying us even more to bring people in. But happy to be here. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. And Trung Bien. All right. And same
Hi,
questions
everyone.
for you.
Yep. Hi, I'm based in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I've been a realtor since 2015 at Remax. I shared the similar sentiment with the other gentleman, where I thought I was going to be at Remax for life. But then, you keep on hearing about EXP, about the benefit, and I felt like I had a long enough runway in my career to build a good rev share. So in 2020, I made the switch. And then also in 2020, I decided to kind of scale my business to kind of have a team structure, mainly to have work-life balance and get my evenings and weekends back. And then what do you know, I have my evenings and weekends back, and I have higher production and higher dollar per hour. So it's all been good things at EXP. Hello?
Whoop, sorry about that. I had my mic off. Thank you, Trung. All right. And Cheryl, so the same run of questions for you. How long have you been licensed? What was your path from start to today? What brought you to EXP? Are you a solo agent or a team lead?
Hi, I'm Cheryl Larson. I am from Minnesota, on the border of Minnesota and Wisconsin, so I work in both states. I got licensed in Minnesota in 2005, but back in the 80s, I was licensed out in Maryland, where I worked for a few years as a realtor. I took 16 years off and raised 4 kids, and came back to real estate in 2005 with Coldwell Banker, stayed there until 2020, and moved to EXP at the end of February in 2020, and thought, oh my gosh, what have I done, when the world turned upside down 2 weeks later. But it turned out great because EXP was the best place to be, with the whole company set up virtually, and we didn't miss a beat. And I moved a team over from Coldwell Banker, and we have a little office space in downtown Stillwater, which is a charming little small town, about a half hour out of the Twin Cities. So I work in rural areas and vacation home areas and small towns and in the cities. So we have a pretty broad spectrum of business, and can be on a farm and then in a condo within a half hour. So it's kind of a neat place to be. I think I answered all of your questions there, but let me know if you have any others.
I think that was all of it. So, one common thread that I've heard here, it seems like just about everybody came to EXP right around the 2020 mark, myself included. And I would have to imagine, much like myself, there was some nervousness about, changing brokers can be a big deal for some. And I know for me, just all of that transition and the world shutting down all at the same time was quite unnerving, to then have to rebuild so many things, all at once. I mean, change is healthy, and a lot of great things come from change and discomfort. But yeah, it's interesting. It's just a strange run of coincidence. So I want to jump right into our questions here. I know a lot of the attendees in these particular seminars with the icons, and even when I'm consulting with agents locally in my market, either agents that are new or agents that are struggling, I just want to get right to it. The big question is, what are you doing for business? And I see a lot of like local coaches, mentors, and gurus. They're just, well, all right, you got to work the phones, you got to cold call, you got to send a mailer, you got like throwing out the blanket statements that I hear overused far too many times. But the big thing that I see lacking when people are giving any sort of insight into this information is like more specifics of it. So starting with you, John, what do you attribute your largest source of business to, but take it a step further and dig into the nuts and bolts of it? Like whatever your biggest business source is.
Well, I have to tell you, I'm a new construction salesperson. I work mainly for a builder. I don't do a lot of outside sales anymore because I'm very busy in the job that I have. I would say that my success in this business comes from knowing my business, knowing new construction, knowing the other builders in the area, what they offer, what they don't offer, how they build their home, what their quality is, and so on. So it's been since I joined EXP, I've always pushed out to other agents, EXP and other brokerages, that if you ever need new construction in Macomb, Michigan, or the surrounding cities, because we have communities in 4 different cities around where I'm at, that I'm the guy to call. And it is sometimes overwhelming that when the people can call and know that, hey, John, can I ask you this? Or, hey, John, can you help me with that? Or, hey, John, how would you do this? And the recognition for new construction is just unreal when you build a good reputation. I have a good reputation. Some people might think I'm a little bit push off a little bit, but other than that, you can ask me any question in this business, and I know how to answer it and how to make people feel comfortable. That's a big thing in this business, is making the client feel comfortable, giving them that warm and fuzzy type scenario. So I just have to say that my business mainly, it comes off the MLS, it comes off of people who walk through the door, but it's because of the fact that I've made myself well known in the industry. Just a real quick dumb one. One night, my wife and I were in a restaurant just a couple weeks ago, and the bartender says, "Hey, John, right?" And I said, "Yes, I am. Who are you?" And it was a agent from another brokerage that was working both as a bartender and a realtor. But she said, "Oh, I know you because I see you all over the MLS, and I know that you do a lot of new construction." So I teased my wife. I turned to her. I said, "See, honey, I am famous. People do know me." That's a joke, of course. But that's how getting the recognition for being who you are, to me, in this business is absolutely huge.
So I think one of the big questions I would like you to dive deeper into is, how did you break into new construction? Like, what led you to the position that you're in today? Like, where, like, how did the referrals come from? How did you get in line with the builders? Like, how did you get in the good graces from starting from before you had the network that you have in the new construction world?
Well, as I said in the beginning, that when I was back in high school, this was 1976 and 77, my junior and senior year, my dad was a builder. So I used to leave school and go sit in a model till 8 o'clock at night. I couldn't sign a contract with anybody because I wasn't a licensed agent at that point, but I could sell them the house, put the features in, tell them all about it, and so on. And then, of course, my dad would come and sign the contract. But I tell you that because that's how I started this business.
Right.
My dad also was a new construction guy. I can remember since I was a little kid visiting him at different models in the area, and I kind of followed his path. And I think some of the bigger breaks for me was my father was well known because he was working for the biggest developer and road builder in Michigan at the time. So people put me together with him, and I got a lot of exposure through that. And it got to the point where builders would want to recruit you. Builders would say, "Well, hey, why don't you come and sell for me? Why don't you come and sell for me?"
Okay,
And the
so
builder I'm with.
So you've always been immersed in that world.
I've always been immersed in it. There were some peekaboos in and out in the resale world, when new construction would go slow, or I'd be in between builders. But right now I've been with the builder that I'm in right now this will be my 10th year.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you, John. All right. So moving on to Christine. So Christine, I think you said you have been licensed 3 years. Do I have that right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. So in 3 years of being licensed, you've already amassed a team and you're already hitting icon status. So that's a relatively short timeline, especially getting started at the time that you did. So walk us through. I mean, obviously the history itself is going to be shorter, but the pace that you moved at seems to be a pretty fast one. So let's go all the way back to the beginning and walk us through how you went starting as a brand new agent to sitting here as an icon on stage speaking to others.
Yeah, definitely. Also, shout out to Brian and Meiji on the Icon team. I came from a consulting background, and I hated it because, being tied to corporate and having a salary cap was just not ideal. I grew up in the restaurant industry, so my parents owned a restaurant, and I was a restaurant kid, and I feel like I always had that entrepreneurial mindset, but also based on my upbringing, we always were stressed on financial stability. So that's kind of why I went to consulting. COVID happened, and then they let us take like a 2-month sabbatical, unpaid. But I was like, you know what? Whenever am I gonna get the opportunity to take 2 months off and be guaranteed a job back? Well, it turns out it was a bad idea for them because I never went back. I just decided to look around and found real estate, and it always piqued my interest. My parents had a couple of investment properties, but I thought, you know what, let's take a chance here. So it's kind of all thanks to COVID that I had no life other than working. And at the time, buildings were not really doing in-person tours, so everything was virtual. I got really big on social media, started posting like even just third-party site ads, and got a ton of leads, and just kind of built a huge referral basis and have repeat clients now, since leases are easy and they come back every year. And then from there, those clients turn into buyers as well. And at my previous company, they had salaried employees for team leads as well, but I made more as an independent agent just because bringing your commissions, you're getting paid a lot more. So I got poached to EXP and fell in love with the model here, and that I could have my own team while also doing my own things and still getting paid at my own rates as well. And I've always loved teaching other people, and I really like showing how people can kind of excel and pick up all the little tips and tricks that I can share with them to be the best agents that they can be. So I am grateful that I had a first boutique brokerage that taught me a lot. But I think it's just working long hours, which I'm sure you all understand as we're all here on this panel, and being truly happy about servicing my clients. And I think overall just enjoying the process has allowed me to just meet great people, recruit great people, and thrive from there. I don't know if you're on mute again, Omar.
Sorry. So you had mentioned earlier in your introduction that your primary business model is doing a lot of leasing. So what pulled you into that world?
Yeah, honestly, just luck. When I was looking for jobs, I had only actually applied to my previous brokerage as the only real estate company. And that's all that they did. They were 100% in leasing. And I think that they, when they recruited me, they were like, oh, this is a really good idea. This makes, a lot of money. And I see it because I think it's the best way to get buyer clients in the future as well. So I saw it as, easy short-term gains, but great long-term growth as well. But that's kind of why I moved to EXP, because I started getting leasing clients who were looking to buy. But it really was just all chance that this former brokerage was only leasing.
You're just making the best of the environment that you're surrounded in and where you got your start from.
Right, exactly.
Great. All right. Well, thank you. Okay. Trung, same question for you. What so you started off 2015 at Remax. So walk us through what your primary business type is now, and also what you feel is your what are you doing on a daily basis that you feel is the biggest contributor to the bulk of your business?
Yep. Thanks for repeating the question. So I took 2 courses that were based on building a referral-based business, Brian Buffini's and Ninja Installation. I think those are both based out of the United States. I would say I applied probably about 30 to 50% of those processes into my business. And so most of my business is repeat, referral, or sphere. I would say I'm blessed. I can say a competitive advantage of mine is that I'm from this city that I do business in. So I have a good network of people, right? So it's not like I moved to a different city and then try to work on referral. So that was a good competitive advantage for me. And I too also work with a lot of builders, and builders are just part of my my database now, where I farm builders, right? So I work on marketing to my database, and then I just add builders to that list. And to penetrate that market, I feel that there's a lot of boutique builders in this city, and I just feel that they get hounded by realtors a lot for their business. But you got to be persistent for one. You got to understand the construction process, so it does take expertise, and you got to add value somehow. So for these boutique builders, if you can supply them with the land to build a spec home, then you're very likely to get the listing when it's complete. So that turns one end to three ends. And so I was pretty big on marketing to builders to kind of build that network. And then with builders, it's kind of like a recurring business where they're doing 3 to 10 transactions a year. So I didn't have like a father to get me into that network. I felt it was persistence, having some expertise, and then offering value by getting the land. For 2024, what I'm going to do is kind of focus on enhancing my Google business page. I have, since the beginning, I just started I'm asking for reviews for Google. And, like I'd say half of them actually write the review. And then after 5 years of doing that, I probably have one of the most Google reviews in the city for a realtor. And then I felt that was probably a good 10x return, where, like I probably put $5,000 into my website to making sure it's like a better quality brochure where people Google top realtor in Calgary. And then my name would pop up because of the Google reviews. And then they would go to my website and then see that it's a pretty polished website. And then they'd reach out. So, I put $5,000 into my website, and I'd say that website and Google reviews probably made like $100,000 this year. So that's like a 20x return. So I see that's a good opportunity for me to focus on, and just having like a better Google business page, focus on doing more reviews and being consistent with it, and likely going to invest in SEO where my name would pop up in more keywords.
Excellent. You had my final question for you. You answered to one degree. Specifically, the referral courses that you took. What are some of the things that you've implemented specifically targeting referral and repeat business?
So when you take those programs, I think the key takeaway is like handwritten cards. Okay. I like doing handwritten cards because a lot of the content's templated, and I can get my admin to write them, so it's scalable. I put them on an email newsletter and a direct mail newsletter campaign. I send them birthday cards because we have to do ID verification, so I get their birthday. Then I do a 1-year anniversary gift and a 5-year anniversary gift. Most of my communication, I guess it's lazy, but I do it by text. And then so I do keep in touch with them periodically. And I think a lot of it to build like a referral-based business is that you got to really do an exceptional job. You got to like really show that you know what you're doing. You're looking out for their interests. So then you stand out. So then when someone else is in need of a realtor, they remember how good you took care of them. And then with the touches through the through the marketing campaign, which is not a lot, to be honest with you, that they remember you, right? I think I heard a stat somewhere that 6 months after a transaction, most people won't remember their realtor's name. But with sending in birthday cards, doing an email newsletter, direct mail newsletter, and sending them a yearly, like an anniversary gift, I'd say you have a higher likelihood of being top of mind.
Excellent. All right. Thank you, Tron. Okay, Cheryl. So same questions for you. What do you feel is your biggest, if there was one thing that you do, what do you think is the biggest contributor to your business of any of like your marketing efforts?
My biggest contributor to my business has been the consistency that we do a weekly email newsletter that gets also posted to social media. And we've been doing this for 12 years. So before I joined EXP, I started it and it's grown. It goes out to other agents and to past clients and to new clients and to just people who follow me. It is all about what we're doing as a team, listings. It allows me to put more information in than what we maybe could put into a website and change it up pretty easily. We've designed it ourselves so we can, I have somebody who helps me with it on my team, but we can easily add in relevant stories and things that are happening in communities, or if we're doing open houses and there's a farmer's market down the street from our open house, you can tie things together so easily. That has been huge and really has helped me develop great relationships throughout the industry with other agents. It goes out to lenders, inspectors, people like that also, so they watch what I'm doing. And it's kept me in touch with past clients. People love to see what you're doing later. And every week when it goes out, I get emails, texts, messages from people who've seen something in the newsletter that they want to talk about.
You're getting real live actual engagement, and it sounds like at a pretty high frequency.
Yeah, but we're super consistent at it.
Okay.
And it's been a huge commitment. It's been my Friday night or early Saturday morning commitment for years and years and years. And I can't say enough how much it's changed my business and how much easier it is to keep in touch with people when you're intentionally doing something like that. But it's not for everybody to do all that every week.
And I think you said that you guys do create all the content completely from scratch. Is that correct? A combination of you and whoever else is collaborating
Right.
with you?
So we've got a template, so it's pretty easy to drop things in and change it up. But it's changeable to the point where we can add in little, based on the community that our listings are in, add in community information from each of those communities so that it really connects people to other things besides just the house. And so people watch it. So they, there's a reason to look at it because you're going to find out when the Christmas tree lighting is in downtown Stillwater, or, it becomes a resource. And I would say that's what we are, is we really are intentionally a resource to our clients and our past clients, even to other agents. I think I can't stress enough how important it is to have really good relationships with other agents. So I'm kind of a historic homes resource, and that's where I started in this industry. And people come to me when they are, so even other agents will come to me when they're listing something for resources. But buyers and sellers, they contact me for everything from financing ideas to faucets. And we just really, really know our industry and know about historic homes, but it all relates to other homes too. So people move in and out of old homes. So we aren't limited to just doing historic homes, but it's a niche that we've become a resource in.
And how much time would you say you have to put into creating each one of these newsletters?
Probably 2 hours.
Okay. All right, great. Well, thank you so much, Cheryl. All right, so moving on to our next question. We've seen some crazy shifts going on in the market, the rise of interest rates and all the updates this morning. I'm seeing substantial drops in progress or on the horizon now. So I want to talk about how everybody is now adapting to all like the up to the minute changes that we're seeing in, in the current situation. So in my market, I straddle between a major city, being Philadelphia, and a couple other, New Jersey areas. And there's also other places where sometimes I have to drive a good mile off road to get to a house that I'm listing, and everything in between. So we can see the full gambit, over the course of a couple hours. And I know each market's shifts are different depending upon what type of a demographic you're working in. So starting with you, John, what is the big shift that you're seeing right now currently, and how are you adapting to it specific to your market?
Well, for us, I'd have to say when the interest rates went up, it definitely slowed us down, because I'd say my median price right now is 500 to 550. So you took a lot of those people out of the market. But what we did was start to advertise after we felt what the rates had softened slightly or stopped climbing slightly. We were doing a promotion where instead of lowering the prices of our houses like other builders, we would start advertising it as we would contribute $20,000 towards a buyer's mortgage for them to buy down interest, and also to pay a bonus to the selling agent to bring those people in. And we just watch what's going on out there and try and make our market niche work in any way, shape, or form. I'm lucky that I work for a builder who's very acceptable to making change when it comes to a shift in the market. I don't work for a boutique builder. I'm more of the builder I work for is well known in the area, and they build a quality home. So people pay attention to what the company I work for, Acadia Home Builders, what we do. So that's probably my best answer for it.
Excellent. And I know in my market, just whether it's buyers or sellers, it doesn't matter who I'm representing. With my buyers, exactly, I'm essentially going to repeat you word for word, is with my buyers, instead of negotiating a lower price, is negotiating the concessions, just because the math always works to the buyer's favor. And with all of my sellers, with the listings, I prep them in advance, just, hey, given the current interest rates and the current market situation, be prepared to either negotiate concessions in, or just even with the listing, put it out there right up front so that people aren't going to get the sticker shock of the monthly payments, with the higher interest rates. Now, as far as like days on market, John, what prior to the interest rate hikes, what were your average days on market before, and what are they averaging now?
Well, in the new construction world, days on market really just depend on where you are in the construction phase of it. Meaning,
Okay.
when we were really busy, I would list stuff coming soon, or basement, started at basement, because it takes 12 months to build a house. So once you get the basement in the ground, you only have about 5 months left until completion. So I would have long days on market, because we would start advertising at basement stage.
Right.
But now in the market that we have right this minute, the people that are coming in the door are the people that have sold their home, don't want to have the fear of what an interest rate can do to them. So they want to be able to move in 30 to 60 days. So we started marketing the house more so towards its completion. So it's kind of hard question to answer on the new construction side. It's where you are in the construction phase when somebody's needed. And we
Got it.
usually have 25, 30 spec homes around town up for sale. So that's all I can really tell you. I'm sorry.
That's okay. All right. Thank you, John.
You're
All
welcome.
right. Christine, same question for you. So
Yes.
what's
so yeah, go ahead.
go ahead. No, I was just going to say, what type of shift have you seen in your market, and how have you pivoted to adapt with it?
Yes. So I'm lucky because if I'm working with buyers and they decide to change their mind because there's really low inventory right now, then I can, get them to rent and still get paid for it. So it's nice that I can, I think there's a little echo. Thank you. So yeah, I am lucky that, I can just pivot easily with my clients depending on what they need. I would say the rental market, it's always stable. For buying, it was really crazy in the summer. I would say majority of my clients were putting in offers against like 5 to 10 other people, and always over asking price. Currently, homes are staying on the market between 30 to 60 days, and competition is much less than it was in the summer, and homes are being sold under asking price right now. So that's quite helpful.
All right. Excellent. Thank you. All right. Trung, same question for you. What's the big shift that you've seen lately, and what have you done to adapt to it?
So Calgary, Alberta, from 2015 to 2020, we were kind of recognized as an oil and gas city that had a lot of negative, like low consumer confidence. And then the provincial government started marketing to other provinces in Canada saying this is a great place to live because of higher incomes, low commute times, and lower taxes. And a flock of people have been migrating to Calgary. And then also the federal government is letting a bunch of immigrants in, and people are recognizing as Calgary as a good place to live and kind of get ahead in life. So even with the high interest rates, we had a slow period probably for 6 months where people really froze and got off, like were on the fence about purchasing. And then this year, no matter what the interest rates are, we're seeing that people are still open to buying, which is wonderful. So we're seeing a very strong market in Calgary. And I think now with the prediction that rates are going to go down next year, it's going to be even busier. I think if we were to adapt to something, it's actually the number of realtors that are becoming a realtor in Calgary. About 100 new realtors per month are getting their license. So I think that diminishes the market share that you have. But for me, what I'm telling myself is that there's enough business for everyone. And then I just got to focus on the basics, which was being consistent with the lead follow-up and prospecting, and just focusing on set net signed, ensuring that I'm meeting enough clients per week to make sure that my funnel's full so I don't have any kind of peaks and troughs in my business.
As you're speaking here, I'm remembering that you are in Canada. So a specific question for you is, are the rates in Canada mirroring, at least from what you can see, what the US is doing? Or is it unrelated, or is it pseudo-related?
There's a positive correlation, 100%. 100%. So I think the last 3 announcements have been no rate hike, and prime rate in Canada is 7.2%. So I don't know exactly what it is in the United States, but I believe that they're not doing rate hikes right now. So there is a good correlation. And in Canada, other markets that are larger have been seeing a hit in their real estate values and their sales, but mainly because the average price per home is so much higher. Where Calgary, the average price is recognized as very affordable. So then people have this mindset that if they don't buy now, when the rates go down, that it's just going to be even busier. So it's been kind of keeping our market propped up, and we're experiencing a lot of low inventory right now. because builders cannot build quick enough to provide new inventory. And then now in Canada, there's this type of new financing for building purpose-built rentals. So a lot of builders are pivoting to building rentals, which is taking away from resources to actually build homes for sale, which is also affecting supply.
Got it. Okay, so it seems like it is pretty closely mirroring the market conditions in the U.S. Thank you,
For interest
thank you,
rates, yeah.
Charlie.
No problem.
Okay, and Cheryl, same question for you. What's the big shift that you're seeing in your market, and what have you done to adapt to it? Cheryl, you there?
Sorry, my mic was off.
That's okay.
In the Twin Cities and outside of the Twin Cities, we have really felt the shift, and it also comes at the time of the year where we see a more seasonal market. So we have a lot of buyers in the market who would buy if we had inventory. So we have very low inventory, and we have had a pretty nice early winter. So they have been able to continue to build, but builders are not building spec homes for the most part. They're still building the homes that they've already sold even last summer and this summer. So we don't have a lot of new construction inventory to just go to get a house in 30, 90 days. We have extremely low inventory in the resale market, and there's still a good bit of competition, especially in the lower price ranges or in unique properties. So if it's acreage on a lake or, something that's been recently renovated that's very cool, we still are seeing multiple offers, even though there are homes that are languishing. I would say that the inventory that has been sitting for a while often gets rented out for the winter in this market. I've had clients who have put renters in for the winter if the property is vacant. So the big thing that we do in our team is schedule new listings to come on usually at the end of January or beginning of February, where the end of winter is in sight. The buyers who will be buying in the spring market are usually out by the middle of January. They're at open houses and they're out looking. There's very, very little inventory for them to look at. So as we're meeting with clients right now, we're scheduling coming soons to come on at the end of January and go live at the beginning of February, and getting photos and painting and prepping done for listings that will hit the market by mid-February at the latest.
So is that winter slowdown strictly weather related in your market?
No, it was related to interest rates as well, but I think that we're still impacted. Maybe this year we have more of a normal market. We're very impacted by low inventory. And we have buyers who, of course, have maybe backed off from the market because of the higher interest rates. But I really still see the biggest issue here as lack of inventory. We really have the lowest inventory in the Twin Cities that we've ever had. And we've been plagued by that for a long time.
So now with that being said, I'm trying to dig more into the lengthy coming soons. You had mentioned that you're doing coming soons as to like the end of January. What's usually at the base of having such a delay from, let's say you're signing a listing agreement today, to have it be so far out before it actually goes live?
Yeah, a lot of people, even when they buy in the winter, don't want to close for a period of time. So the longest they can wait to close is 60 days to lock their loan. And if we have a listing agreement signed and it is withheld, we can be showing it and we can actually market it through EXP. We can make it coming soon and then not show it in our market for a period of time. But it also allows people to be more planful about getting here to see the property. A lot of buyers come from other places or they're in a warm climate, especially condo buyers or some of the higher end buyers. They're not here in the wintertime. So we want to be strategic about making sure that our biggest buyer pool is available to see the property. And that might mean flying in for a weekend. So if it's coming soon for a week or two, or even 3 weeks, it gives people the opportunity to plan to be here to see the listing when it becomes available. So a lot of things play into that.
Got it. Okay, thank you. All right, so we've got about 7 minutes left here, so I want to start wrapping things up here. To finish this out here, I'd like to hear what everybody's insight is to any agents out there that might be struggling, might be having a difficult time of things. Starting with you, John, what's one piece of wisdom that you feel you would like to impart on everybody in closing?
Know your business. If things are slow right now, it gives you more time to become knowledgeable and to become an expert in your area. And I have to agree, inventories are low everywhere. So when these interest rates, if they continue to come down, which is what we're hearing, we're going to get slammed.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to be the agent that's just a one and done. You want to be able to build that referral business. And the more knowledge that you have and treating your customers knowledgeably and helpfully can make you a better agent throughout the rest of your life.
All right, excellent. Okay, Christine, same question for you. In last bit of imparting wisdom here.
Yes, I was just going to say the same thing as John, but building clients for life. I think, I used to spend a lot of time trying to obtain new leads, but at the end of the day, you can get new leads, but if you just work on your clients that you have, they'll continue to give you new leads, and then you'll also have your repeat clients. And automatically that level of trust is already there that you don't have to rebuild from the beginning every time. And then the other thing I'd say is just marketing yourself. Social media is so big nowadays. And the first time I ever got my social media lead, I was like, no way, this is fake. Like, that's not, real at all. But, it turns out that they were going to close, and then we'd have a couple more from there. But right now, at least in Chicago, the real estate market, or like the real estate agents, are not really that saturated in social media. So now is really the time to get into it if you haven't already. And if you do, get onto social media, posting not only about the market or whatever, but incorporating who you are as a person and showing your personality can really help get a better following and more clients, because people, when they think of a brand, right, they're tied to it with emotions. So same thing when you're branding yourself, put your personality into it.
Well, thank you, Christine. All right, Trung, same question for you. Last bit of imparting wisdom here before we wrap up.
I think for any kind of new agent that's kind of struggling, or an agent that's struggling, I would say take a look at the calendar and see what they're actually doing. Because I think most people, their problems will be solved if they're actually prospecting. There is a lot of ways to generate business, and I'd say most of it isn't magical. It's just actually doing it, whether it's social media, door knocking, open houses, farming your database, all sorts, right? Farming a community. It all works. You just have to apply yourself. And then once you choose the lead gen levers that you want to work with, then I would just kind of ask for support from the people that are doing it well. So then you can kind of just like fine tune your sword, right? But I think most problems can be solved if actually people spend their time prospecting.
Excellent. All right. Thank you, Trung. All right, Cheryl, same question for you.
I
Nice bit of imparting wisdom.
I agree with Trung. People perceive this is a slow time or maybe a bad time. Some agents get very down during this time. I think this is the time to do the basics. So get to work, get the mailings out, contact your sphere, be in touch with people, volunteer, get out into the community, be active everywhere on social media, in person. It's a great time of the year to build business and to get things lined up for spring. And it will be crazy again. And getting your systems organized and in place and all of your sites updated and really dedicating time to systems and processes when it's not so frantic is super important, so that when it is really busy, you're ready and you're able to be efficient and handle the business that is in. And then take time to have coffee with people. So if you're not so busy right now, call up a past client and say, gee, it was so much fun looking at homes with you and I miss seeing you. I'd really like to meet you for a coffee and hear how your kids are doing. People love that kind of stuff, and it costs $5 and it goes such a long way. So I think just be consistent in contacting past clients and building on the relationships that you already have serves you so much better than anything else you can do.
All right, excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much, Cheryl. All right, guys. Well, we're right about the end of our time here. Do we have any quick questions from the audience for any of our panelists?
I don't see any questions coming in, Omar.
All right.
But thank you all so much for being here. What a wonderful panel. We appreciate you all and giving back to EXP as part of being wonderful ICON agents. And if you'd like to join us in future conversations, I think our last one for 2023 is next Friday, December 22nd, same time, following the big agent meeting. And just give a round of applause for all these wonderful ICON agents